So,
Hmm.
because they got nowhere near the playoffs last year, I've had to wait 6 months to watch the Sharks, and now you want to change it to today. I see how it is.
I
Oh,
mean,
Not that I can't still just watch while we're talking,
yeah.
but the
yeah.
first period just ended.
Yeah. Besides, they're going to be bad this year too, so it doesn't matter.
So
It's nice.
Well, they're 1-1 against the Stanley Cup champions, but granted, that one they gave up was completely their fault. So they fucked up.
It's going to happen a lot. I'm going to the game on Saturday with a couple of people, so that'll be fun.
Who are they playing?
The Avalanche.
Oh,
Yeah. I got
the
4
previous
tickets.
Stanley Cup champions. That's
Were they the previous or were they the year before?
no, I mean this
Yeah,
last season was Vegas, but before that it was the Avalanche.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I was asking. I know that last year was Vegas, so I was trying to remember if it was the Blues or the you're right. It was Avalanche and then Blues before that. Hey, it's been a while since the Eastern Conference has won anything, hasn't it?
I also got to say, I have lunch with Alex and Jen twice a week.
Yeah.
And when we talk about hockey, they're insufferable.
Yeah, you're a few seasons off though. The Blues won 5 years ago. That's because when the Blues won, they beat the Sharks in the conference final. So that's been a while.
Yeah. Also, there were 2 years won, and then went time but couldn't get it done.
The only times I've ever been to a Sharks playoff game was the year that we lost to the Penguins in the Cup final.
No.
Oh, I used to make sure to go to at least one playoff game a year, and I had to stop because playoff tickets got crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But this year they're not. This year tickets are nice and said. So I got 4 tickets to the Saturday game. My coworker and her husband paid for 2 of them, and then I'm sure I'll be able to find someone to go. All of my friends are busy on Saturday, so eventually I just said, "Hey, Rachel, here, have the ticket, and if you can find someone to go, just bring them. I go to waste." So her brother might come, but yeah, I was just like, "Oh, it's funny that I just nobody was available."
Yeah.
I saw a post that listed the home opener price for like the cheapest ticket for each team. And like the Sharks are like 34, and the team that was in the Stanley Cup final last year that lost was only $19. I just want to point out.
Plus, it's Las Vegas.
Fucking Vegas is $230. Okay, that's the cheapest ticket they have.
And they're the 19th.
Huh?
Or the wait. Sorry. Where were they ranked?
No. They're definitely the most expensive. I said no.
Oh,
Panthers
okay.
were only $19.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. Yeah, 19. Yeah,
and they were in the fucking final. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
They're
still had a problem filling seats when they were in
Right.
That's why it's $19.
Yeah.
Like, all right, look, that's because there's things to do in St. Petersburg, Florida.
But it's 75 for the Coyotes because they have to make up for that tiny ass arena.
Yeah. Although technically, like, students can get in there for even less. So technically, yeah. There was something about that. I don't remember details, but I remember that being talked about last year, where or maybe it's some number of seats have to be reserved for students for free or something like that. Huh. That might be the case. But yeah, you're right. Like, of the amount that people are going to pay, 75 is still pretty high.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really small. So, like, the worst seat in there is still a really good seat.
True. And actually, they're doing something really great where you can just watch the games on TV, which is incredibly, it's so simple. Like, it really is. It's crazy. That's such a simple concept, but it's revolutionary. Like, you can just watch the game on an antenna. And, I think it was the Phoenix Suns just giving out antennas. Like, if you called in to the Phoenix Suns, would buy you because the Nintendo's like what, like $20 or $30 something. They would call it, or yeah, you would call in, and they would just be like, "Yeah, here you go," and then you can watch all Phoenix Suns games
That's pretty
over, over regular airwaves, and that helps the Coyotes also.
But I'm like, the Suns are like the only team here that have a real fan base.
cool.
Yeah, not even the Cardinals.
No.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. Yeah. What else is? Oh, and definitely not the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals play in a college football stadium, right? So.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was funny. Yeah, the fact that they're named after a cheap ass whatchamacallit, for-profit university degree mill. Oh my god.
Huh?
Yeah, the stadium is the University of Phoenix Stadium.
Is it? No.
No, it's not. It's State Farm Stadium.
Oh, it's renamed State Farm now? Oh, okay. I just thought it was for when I was there. It was it was University of Phoenix. Although obviously the an actual like Arizona State University at Phoenix or anything.
No, what is the name of that school? Not University of Arizona. Yeah, University of Arizona. Wildcats.
That's what I said.
Yeah. No, you said Arizona State. ASU is different from UAS.
Oh, whatever. It's all fine.
Well, U of A is in Tucson, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Alrighty, right. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So I actually fully intended to spend a lot of time editing this previous episode, but Monday I got my vaccination, and I was the last person in line. So I got there at a little bit like 4:15, and I didn't get it until past 6:00. So when I got home, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything." And then Tuesday was just the last possible day, so I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get it done." But I liked the idea, Andy, that you mentioned at the end, which I edited out. Of we'll just make Wednesday our actual release day, and we will be hey, remember what happened in Survivor last week? As people are getting ready for that episode, which annoyed me to some end when at the very beginning of this episode they did a comprehensive breakdown of what happened in the episode before.
Yeah, they gotta fill 90 minutes now.
Yeah. But I actually do. I always look every show I watch. I wish they did at least a quick 1 minute. Hey, here's what happened last time, and just go in detail. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so we'll be doing that anyway. Welcome to Outwit, Outplay, Outcast, the Survivor podcast on the Night Living Geeks Network. I'm your host Nick. That was Andy, and Brian is here as well. We're going to be talking about season 45, episode 3, which is called "No Man Gets Left Behind." In this season, which I was calling Bird Battle at first because everyone's tribal logo is a bird, but I kind of gave up on that. But anyway, it's still a bird battle. Yeah. Shall I read the summary, or do you guys want to say anything before I start doing that?
No, I'm excited. Let's go.
You don't want to talk about birds?
I'm okay.
All right. My favorite bird, by the way, is the chicken because it tastes delicious. What are your guys' favorite birds?
Well, turkey for the same reason.
More than chicken?
Yeah, but it's better because you don't get turkey as often usually, unless you're making deli sandwiches all the time. But
yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing is you can, you just don't.
Yeah, well, it's more expensive.
Yeah. Cool beans. I appreciate that. All right. So
there's no turkey nuggets,
no, you're right.
Am I wrong here? Is the obvious answer tits? I really love tits.
All right. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you for bringing it down. All right.
No, really, the hummingbird. Hummingbirds are awesome.
Okay. Yeah. They do defy God by hovering.
And that's flying backwards.
Yeah. In defiance to the Lord's will. All right, so what did I say about player blocks not being real until they've taken a blood oath? On Bello, Jake O'Kane and Kendra bond when Jake gets caveman games when Jake goes caveman games trying to make fire, while on Reba, Drew gets caught with his pants down searching for Austin's idol. And as I was writing that he got his pants down, he actually said it, and so I thought, man, I should change it. Then anyway, Drew's first deceit falls flat, leaving Dee and Julie suspicious. Later in the episode, even Sean and Sabaya are getting ready to catapult Caleb into the sun. Contrary to last week, we have an almost immediate reward challenge. Brandon turns out to have been the cursed player. Free from him, Lulu rips through the challenge, winning fruit. Reba gets slightly less fruit, and Bello comes in last. Lulu also selects Caleb to raid a commercial break. Reba, naturally. They're the only ones that have anything to steal. Caleb gives a goodwill advantage to Drew, who then passes it on to Austin, since it will restore his missing vote. Austin eventually finds his idol, meaning he got his vote back anyway. It's got a wall of reminder text, but basically the more votes sacrificed to it, the stronger it becomes. A unity challenge ensues, and Lulu is back to looking hapless at puzzles, losing yet again as a minor key piano chord plays over shots of Emily looking distraught and dejected. The scramble sets up attention of Sabia plotting to get rid of Caleb, Emily doing the right thing and telling Caleb, meaning the only person truly safe is Sean. Sabia tosses her idol into the fire and hopes the council lasts long enough for it to melt, but there's no doubt it melts almost instantly, unless there's some funky editing going on that cuts like 20 minutes of Jeff's questions. Unfortunately for her, it's the same sacrifice of vote idol, and Sabia is forced to make a decision, sacrificing her vote and getting voted out in return. And thus endeth the lesson. Also, this is a completely unrelated thing, but you know what I noticed in some... Emily just has the bluest eyes.
Are you standing Emily now with me?
No, I'm not.
Oh, now I am.
You are now? Oh, good for you.
Okay.
I'm actually really surprised. And I thought you were going to be like, no, sucks, a hater. But, yeah.
To answer your question, yes, they cut out like 20 minutes of Jeff's questions.
Yeah.
Did they? Because it looks... She was going over towards it, like, as he was at, like, immediately after he asked his first question.
I mean, there's got to be editing trigger in there, and we know that tribal is usually like around an hour total time. Sometimes it's shorter when it seems obvious, like with Brandon. But we know it's like an hour, so somewhere in there you figure it's 20 minutes to melt that much wax. Like if it's like a solid candle worth of wax, right? And I mean, I know you've thrown it into the fire, but it's still going to take a little bit of time.
Well, I don't know, because all right, we think about melting wax when it comes to like candles or whatever, but that's like a very small flame in a specified area. This is a very large flame over the entirety of the candle. So I don't know.
I think you should come out here and go camping, and I will buy a candle. We can go camping together, and we can try it.
Throw the candle on the fire.
Yeah, just see how long it takes.
I refuse to go camping. Not like I refuse to go camping with you or something like that. I just refuse to go camping. Many of our friends will do a July camping trip, and I will go. But I get to the parking lot, I go talk to them for 3-4 hours, and then I drive home. I don't camp.
So you're saying you're never going to send in an audition tape?
Oh, I did. I did that when I was in my 20s. And now it's like, yeah, I'm good. Don't worry. I'm not going to be in it. It's fine. I've accepted my fate.
Yeah, it's too late now. We're too old. It's impossible for us to win.
Yeah. No, okay, look, I'll put it this way. I really do think that if I could go out there and avoid a Hannah situation, I think I could go pretty far. But that is assuming I don't, like, 2 days in go like, this sucks. I want to sleep on a bed, you guys. So, and that's...
No, my point is, it doesn't matter. You're going to mention something that happened in the 90s, and they're all going to be like, we weren't born yet, and now we don't like you.
I know, because I have one, and I get along pretty well with her. And when I talk about stuff from the 90s, it's not met with more met with genuine questions like, so what was it like not having social media, or what was it like you could just go someplace? Like I was telling her, this is real. I was telling her this was a couple months ago that I could just go to the mall. Like I could just walk over there, and it was like 2 miles away. Just go. Didn't have to tell my mom. Didn't have to tell my dad or anything. Just go to the comic book store there, buy a couple comics, and then go home. Go to the arcade, and then get back. And no one was like, "Where is he?" Or nobody at the mall was like, "Hey, where are your parents? Are you running away? Are they abusing you or anything?" It was just like, "No, just go." And people just let me do what I wanted to do. And that was completely normal and natural.
Yeah, but that's you in a normal situation, casual with friends, when you get to go home afterwards. I think if you were out on a beach, they'd be annoyed by your boat facts and your history lessons. And they'd be like, he's only in his 40s, but he talks like he's in his 70s. What the hell?
As a matter of fact, by separate coworkers, I have been told that my talking like 80-year-old is endearing, because even when aside from right now, I don't talk down to people when I'm giving the history stuff or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is an interesting. No, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. We're not like, oh, you guys. What do you mean you don't know that the CSS Virginia was originally called the USS Monitor and the USS Merrimack? Sorry, look, I get my Civil War trivia I'm upset. I get the names mixed up. What do you mean you don't know that? No, it'd be like, hey, here's a really interesting fact. Boats back in the day had like 30 people working on them. Nowadays, they've got like 3,000. Isn't that interesting? You know what I mean? Like, I am a know-it-all, but I'm not an insufferable know-it-all. In real life. Right now, it's kind of hard not to be. Because if I don't, you guys just won't talk and say anything.
So, go. What were you going to say, Brad?
I was like, no, I think if you started talking like that, they're going to get bit like, okay, he just never shuts up, and then they're going to vote you out.
Okay, so speaking of insufferable people, I loved it when Drew and Austin thought they were so smart with this plan. They're digging under this cross of trees, and Drew gets caught and just stands up and walks away.
Did you know?
It's because that was Drew and not Basile. If it was Basile who had been digging, he'd just be chill and calm and cool about it with his allies. But Drew's the one who got caught, so he was awkward and bookish.
Did you know that digging where the clue told you to dig is like entrepreneurship?
I know. Like,
yeah.
Chill the fuck out, Drew. It's just finding an idol.
This is how I know he's nowhere near as good as he thinks he is, which is obvious. But like, Caleb, for example, was in kind of the same situation where he realized that he was kind of in trouble, right? And he just went with it. And he was like, all right, you didn't panic, you didn't do anything. Whereas Drew needs a couple minutes. Like, he can prepare. If he was an actor, he could prepare, like, oh, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing in this audition, and I'm going to read my script, and here's how I'm going to read it. But if, like, he could not improvise to save his life. Whereas Caleb and Emily, to a degree, seem to be good at improvising, especially now that Emily is a little more stable and situated.
Yeah. And I just love that, like, he tries to do some lie or whatever, and Dee just sees right through the smartest man to ever play Survivor. Sorry, not the smartest man, the smartest person. But, I mean, he probably only counts the men anyway.
Yeah.
Probably.
Just like she sees right through it immediately. She gets the vibe within 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So I want to know how would it work? Like, if she didn't give them the hammer back, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, could she go get it, and then he's just screwed forever and never gets to vote?
That'd been fucking perfect. I would have loved that.
I think what would happen, and this is just spitballing because I don't know, and if anybody wants to educate me, I'm still on Twitter/X. You can always at We Have Snacks. But my assumption is that if somebody else found the idol, that he would get his vote back. That's just my assumption. Like, he may not know.
But yeah, but how would he know? Well, I guess he would know because he'd go up there, and that note wouldn't be there that telling him.
Yeah, exactly. like, I bet you there would be a note saying the idol has been discovered. You are allowed to vote, or something along those lines. Would be my guess, but it's not. It's not relevant because it didn't affect anybody in this one. But there was kind of like a little bit really liked about that. I keep wanting to call it a trap, but the way that idol was hidden was because they put that rope under there. You could dig. You didn't have to dig at one specific point and just hope you got lucky. I really like that. They're like, look, so long as you dig deep enough under the tree, you're gonna find this rope and you should reach the thing. And so, what's her name? D. Yeah, it was D. D hit it, and yeah.
It wasn't that deep. As long as you dug around the tree, you would get it. You know, it was good stuff.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to dig like directly under, like at the junction. You know what I mean, or that, and so that's why the men never found it. And also they don't.
That's the clearly obvious place to find it because that's where Drew is digging. And remember, Drew is the smartest person to ever play Survivor.
Yeah.
So clearly that's where it should have been, but production messed up.
Yeah. He's the smartest person and an entrepreneur, I just gotta say.
Yes, yeah.
So
his eyes communications being a real part. But sorry, go on, Brian. Sorry.
Speaking of the rules with the advantages, there's another one I want to know how it would work. So if he had the thing that cancels out you not having a vote with the idol, would that mean he could just say, I'm not going to vote, but then immediately use his thing that lets him vote anyway and still have the idol be good until the merge?
I don't know. That'd be sick as hell.
Yeah, I think so.
Which again, I don't understand how Drew thinks it's a good idea to just immediately give to Austin. I think you hold on to it, you save it, and you swoop in at the last second like a fucking savior. To just immediately hand it over?
Where I'll give Drew credit is once he realized he got caught, after he was done panicking, he recovered very well. So he gave Austin the thing immediately to make sure that, Austin is with him, and so that Austin has his vote. And, now Austin doesn't really owe him because they're not going to go to tribal council anytime soon. But he does, it's still a good, well, I was going to say literally builds goodwill, thus the name.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on in the episode, he shows everything to Julie and Dee, and gets them on board with the searching for stuff. So they control the damage pretty well. It's just that thing of like they have no chill when it pops off. And actually, I shouldn't even say they. Drew has no chill. Austin remains untested because they came from an angle where he couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it goes contrary to Drew's belief that the best way to play is to tell everyone everything.
Yeah. Well, you got to tell everyone everything unless you tell them nothing, and that's a bad move. But they're all bad moves. The only right move is the move that Drew makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so tall.
Yeah, yes. He is. I did not realize that in episode 1.
It's really absurd when he's standing next to everybody.
Yeah.
I love when he's standing next to J. Maya, who is short.
Oh, yeah. I actually feel a little bit bad for J. Maya, the way she is on the outside of that tribe, and for what reason? Sifu, we kind of get, he's a little bit annoying and a little over the top. So you can kind of get it. Also, he threw himself outside by just being like, all right, I'm going to fucking go search for the idol and sneak around and hide, and then immediately getting caught on all of it. So he ostracized himself. What did J. Maya really do?
I don't know. I mean, we've gotten a decent amount of Reba camp life, but I think in this episode too is mostly just the idol hunt. But we haven't seen a lot of them, or even a lot of Bello. I think the show's done a really good job of giving us 10 minutes on Bello and 10 minutes on Reba to let us feel like we know these people, because that's something in seasons like this that's happened. We get to episode 5 and we're like, who the fuck is on that tribe again?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I appreciate the longer format. I actually know these tribes, and I kind of feel like I know how the dynamics are going. I don't know if that's going to actually be what happens when any one of them goes to tribal, but I have a sense of it, and I'm not going to be coming in totally fresh episode 4 when one of them goes. Right. But I'm still not getting a lot. Is Jay, you're saying, is Jay annoying? Is she quiet? Is part of her game to like lay low and not be on the radar at all? Like, I don't know. And that's a level of information that we're still not getting because it's still all Lulu all the time.
Well, there's also I'm going to be a little bit skeptical here, a little bit cynical. You look at that tribe and who's in charge of that tribe, or thinks they're in charge. You got Julie, you got Drew, you got D is never mind. My point was going to be that they're all white aside from Austin, but yeah, D is Hispanic. So all right, I take it back. Well, because look, the people on the outside of that tribe are all not white, and that would have been kind of awkward. But yeah, man, I take it back. I was wrong.
So when they went to the challenge, and he says, Brandon voted out at last tribal council, and they looked shocked. I'm like, okay, all right, God damn it, I'm absolutely convinced that the producers are telling them to act shocked every time, because there's no fucking way they should be surprised about that. And in fact, Maya was like she just laughed because she realized that it's absolutely ridiculous to be shocked about him being gone.
Yeah,
I liked her reaction.
I had the same idea of like, man, all right, they've got to be told, just act shocked whatever happens, because they don't, not only like, that's the most obvious of them, right? Like, if
it should be everybody nodding their head when they walk up, just like, yep, that's what we all expect to get. But no, Kendra's like, oh my god.
Yeah, like it's not like normal when it could have been like, there wasn't somebody obviously making them lose every time. And it was just, like, how would you know who the hell should be voted out? But that time, come on.
Yeah, episode 2 when they did it make total sense, right? Like, oh my god, it's not Brandon. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Okay, but this one, like, oh my god, this is exactly who we all expected for the last 6 days.
I'll play devil's advocate a little bit and just say that the person we saw go, oh my god, double rainbow, that was Kendra. And doesn't Kendra just seem like the kind of person who would say, oh my god, no matter what?
Yeah, that's true. I know, but she wasn't the only one who had that kind of reaction.
Yeah, there was someone else, I don't remember, but
she had the biggest reaction. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, so long.
I guess unless they're all expecting it to be Emily, right? Because Drew told Reba probably that they all hate Emily, and I guess Bruce would have relayed the same information. So I guess they're all just expecting it to be Emily any given second.
Yeah,
that could be why they're surprised, because Emily is still there, and they've all seen Emily being kind of aggressive. So it's a believable story.
Yeah. So I'm positive on Emily. I'm definitely not standing her. But what was it that swung you guys around to her then?
Well, mine was just that she didn't just, because what I was fully expecting her is like, I know on the bottom, so if somebody tells me something, I'm going to do anything they say. That's what I was expecting her to do. But what she did was actually really smart, and she was like, okay, it's going to not be me, and I'm going to suddenly be the one in power. When she told Caleb about it.
What happened is it came, I like the way they told the story of this episode. You get to the fallout, and Emily's like, y'all, there were 3 votes. There should have been 4. And Sabaya was just like, I don't know. Maybe they did the thing. I don't know. It seemed fine. I don't know. And it's like, come on. It's the most basic of fucking math, and you people know she's a goddamn stock analyst. Like,
right? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also why she turned on Sabaya, because she knew that she lied to her. Okay? And I want to put I don't mean just like she didn't, just because she didn't tell her that she didn't have a vote.
Oh, right.
That's not the problem. The problem is that she specifically asked her, did you vote? And she said, yeah, I did.
Yeah. And then
she's explicitly lied to her.
And then you get to the scramble after Lulu loses immunity again, and all of a sudden, Emily's gotten the confirmation that Sabaya has this idol that she can't get out of wax because it's the Beware advantage. So then she knows Sabaya doesn't have that vote. And so Emily knows she just needs to flip 1, and then she's got it. And so I think there's nervousness when Sabaya melts the thing and it's not there. But like, even then, you can go to rocks. You can, I appreciate that she did the math and she carried through, and she was able, I don't know how she did it. I want to see more of the conversation that she had with Caleb. I understand producers don't want to show you because then you'll know how the vote's going to go. But man, I feel like Sabaya set that up perfectly to convince Caleb, right? Like,
Yeah.
so that the actual story Emily tells, the real truth, is set up to be exactly also the decoy game plan. That was done perfectly. There's not a real good reason why Caleb should believe Emily or go with her. So I wish maybe next episode we'll see a piece of that conversation, but I wanted to know more about that convo, how she convinced him so resolutely.
That's
Next
another
step.
reason I like. Well, that's another reason I like how it ended, because Sabaya didn't do anything wrong or anything stupid, but they got her
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think she might be definitely one of, if not the best person to ever go out third in a non-returning season, because obviously great players go out all the time in returning player seasons. But like for a first timer, she might be one of the best early outs there's been.
All right.
Like
Well, let me make one caveat. She did do one thing wrong. She
Oh,
did
yeah.
try to vote out a threat way too early.
Yeah, but
Every
also,
time somebody tries to do that, they end up being the one getting voted out.
Yeah, if she had if she just gone with Emily still, it would have been Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right.
Well,
you're right.
know.
But no, you're right. They should have gone with Emily, but I can see it from her point of view. Like, we're screwed.
Oh man, you're cutting out a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
we've been kind of powering through, but you're just trying to make a point and then just cut out right in the middle.
All right, let me go sit right. I've been having trouble with my internet all day. Let me go stand right by the router.
Yeah, go hug the router, like in your lap where you sit.
I'm like 5 feet away from it now.
Okay.
I don't know. AT&T might just be bad tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, it could be the modem, not the router. You know. Who knows?
I don't know. The difference.
I think that's why you're also talking over folks quite a bit. I think there's a delay that you're not catching.
That very well could be.
Anyway.
Because, yeah. What was I saying?
That if Sabaya had kept the vote on Emily, she might still be there, and that might have worked. But because she flipped to Caleb, that gave Emily an out to survive.
Yes. Anyway, sorry.
But I don't know. Would that even if Sabaya had still gone with Emily, right? I think Sabaya explaining the game plan to Caleb would have been the same. I don't know how much would have changed.
But she wouldn't have had to lie to Emily about it being her. So I don't think she would have told her it was Caleb.
I mean, maybe you still do. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You always feel like you don't want to be, especially because they're shot in the dark now too. You don't want to be the tribe that's just like, you're going tonight. I don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's hard to tell because she actually did want to vote out Caleb. So who knows what she would have said had she stuck with Emily.
But that's what I'm saying. The decoy plan would have been the same. You know, and Emily would have come up and told Caleb the same thing.
I'm also not really afraid of the shot in the dark, because especially in a low vote situation like this, where there's only 4 votes, if somebody plays their shot in the dark, there were 4.
Well, 3 votes.
You're right.
There's only 3.
Yeah. There wound up being 3. Yeah, sorry. There wound up being 3 because she didn't know that she had to sacrifice a vote until too late. But regardless, in a low vote situation like this, it's their thing. There's an almost no chance that all 3 of you are going to vote for that person, and then you could just have another vote. I don't know. I'm not afraid of it. I don't.
Come to think now, nobody sitting at Tribal Council would have known what Sabaya knew about the idol and sacrificing a vote. So I didn't see a lot of reaction when Sabaya went home, other than like, oh my god, I love you, goodbye, right?
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the fallout next episode, and everybody going, how the fuck did that happen again? Like, why were there still only 3 votes? What the hell?
Yeah. That's the best part, because there's no one to tell them why.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knew. The paperwork's gone. There's gonna be no reason at all why they would know. Unless, I mean, they're gonna just have to figure she had some advantage that they didn't tell them about. But where the fuck would she have gotten it? She never went on any journeys or any shit.
But I really love Jeff trying to hint that she absolutely needs to read the thing before voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have there? What is it? What's in that thing? Huh?
That was pretty good.
I give her credit for not reading it just because.
In front of everyone? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they just. It benefits you if they just think that it's a regular old idol. And in fairness, she probably thought it was just a regular old idol also. So, I mean, yeah, there's no upside really to reading it in front of everyone. So, yeah.
Man, all I know is if I ever got out there, at this point, knowing how much it screws everyone, I'd be like, I'm not fucking touching this Beware advantage. I put it right back.
I still think I would always go for it. And in fact, that might be why I think it's going to disappear, is because the answer is now, it's kind of a solved problem now, where you go for it and then you find someone and you tell them what it is you need to do. The reason I say might be the reason they get rid of it instead of definitely is the reason they get rid of it is because that does force people to interact with one another and to share information. And, they do want that. So,
I mean,
they did make it much harder this time.
So. I mean, I think when you have to think about the pros and cons of the Beware advantage, what you're saying about pulling people in, how much of that ends up being by necessity and how much of it is by choice, right? Like with Reba and their Beware advantage, Austin chooses to bring in Drew, and then they don't bring in Dee and Julie by choice. But now we're at the point where, 2/3 of that tribe knows about that fucking thing, right? So like, it diminishes the power and efficacy of an idol, and then they diminish it further by making you sacrifice stuff to it.
Yeah.
So
he told them all about that too.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it a lot harder to talk about the efficacy of an idol and the impact it can have on a game. Is just kind of a cross to bear, right? And same thing like in Lulu, it was their like day 4, everybody knows about it except for Emily, and now Emily knows, and then it's gone, So it's like you have to weigh the pros and cons, not necessarily of like, part of it is the TV, right? Like you get the better interactions and people catching each other, and that's fun. And then, who knows, who doesn't know, how you leverage that information. But at a certain point, you have to also think about, okay, if too many people know, then it closes down avenues of gameplay. And if if everybody knows, it's not powerful at all anymore. Not only does it close down avenues of gameplay, it makes you a target. Like it has a lot of negatives with it. And I think they'd do well to make it a regular ass idol again, but put like the restriction on of like having to sacrifice votes to make it more powerful. Like I like that idea. Because otherwise, I think that's a good solution to making like those tribals where 6 people have an idol, right? Like
you use that one.
Yeah. Use it once and you're gone.
This stipulation is a much better way to get a fake idol. Instead of just going, here's a fake idol to fuck people. This way, if you just don't give up your vote, then you have a fake idol to scare people with.
That's true.
That's true. I'm trying to remember. Nobody on Bello has the clue, right?
Nope.
Correct.
Okay.
No, they're like, we don't need that shit. We're winning everything.
Well, hey, Reba was winning everything, and they got theirs.
Could we move past the time when somebody looks for the idol and everybody's like, oh my god, they're pure evil for looking? Like, no, you look too. Why are you not looking? What are you doing?
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. And that's one of the reasons I also like J Maya, right? Like J Maya walks up and I don't know if it was Drew or Austin or D or one of them was like, yeah, I'm looking over here. You go look over there. And Jay's like, all right, cool. Like, you're looking? All right, I'll go look too. If we're just out here, we're each other's alibi. Let's go look. Like, I don't give a fuck. And she just walks off and starts looking on her own. And like she looks kind of silly in context, but like I really like that aspect. Like, all right, we're all just looking, let's go.
Yeah, she doesn't know. It's all right. Well, the good news is one thing they're starting to bring back is the tribal swaps. So next week, I feel like they needed to because poor Lulu just could not get its act together.
Yeah.
It's like, look, just make 3 tribes of 5.
I'm pretty sure they had to because, otherwise you would have to have the teams on the other tribes would have to switch every time because half the team would have to not participate every time. You know what I mean?
They've done
like,
that.
I'm pretty sure they did it like for the challenges' sake, so that they didn't have to have only 3 people doing all the challenges.
They did that.
You go.
Sorry, I would say they did that once in the past, where there was a tribe that had so many players that there were players who had to sit back to backs, and so the rule just became that they could sit back to back, but then they could not sit again until, you know what I mean. So they just yeah. Anyway, sorry, but I think they would have had a way to work around it.
Well, but I mean, I think they probably have challenges that are better with more than 3 people doing it. Is my point. They didn't want to have to fuck, have hardly anybody participating.
Yeah, and we do know they build these challenges pretty far ahead of time, across multiple islands. So they might not have had a challenge ready to go for tribes that small.
Yeah, I don't understand in the preview where Emily was like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy that we're doing this." I'm like, "You finally just got to the top of your shit tribe, and now you're going to be on the bottom again. What are you so happy about?"
Oh, maybe because she's going to be with Caleb.
Well,
I
maybe.
figure she's happy because she's on the top of that terrible tribe, but that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like they were going to lose the next tribal council. The next challenge, the challenge after that, and then what? No, you want to be somewhere in the middle where you can play.
Or they though? I mean, because the reward challenge, they beat the shit out of everyone. It was just a coincidence if they happened to.
I mean, I think
community one.
I think more to the point, it's a dangerous situation for them, because whatever tribes they end up in, obviously Lulu's going to be the smaller number, but that also makes them an easy grab this voter to secure what we need this episode, right?
I mean,
but
look at Carson and Carolyn and whoever the hell the third one was.
Right.
Okay. It was
winner,
just them
Jam
3.
Jam?
Yeah, that's right. Jam Jam. No, it was just them 3 for like the entire fucking thing after they merged.
Right.
Because everyone's like, well, they're not a threat. There's only 3 of them.
But they played that exceptionally well, and they did a really good job of noticing the way that the other 2 tribes were evenly balanced vote-wise and wanted to go to war, and they were like, let's just immediately put ourselves in the middle. Like, if these 2 tribes aren't going to crack...
They could do it again.
I don't know if they... That's the thing, that's not necessarily replicable, right? And I think Emily is like, great, I want to build bonds with one of these tribes and some other people before the fucking merge happens so that I don't get picked off immediately.
Okay. There's another thing where we didn't see what happened. Maybe all 3 of them are still on the same tribe, in which case she's in fucking great shape.
Yeah, that might be it too. We don't know how it ends up shaking up, but like
maybe. I don't know if what's the other guy's name? I don't know if he's with them anymore.
Sean, we will see. I think he just was like, I thought that was the plan, everybody. Like all the strategy discussions we saw, he was not really involved in those a whole lot either.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen, because of the 90 minutes, we've got to see more of Reba and Bello, and we know that there's divisions in both of those tribes. So I could see either one of those wanting to scoop up and go to war within itself. I think last season they didn't swap things up, and the tribes just went to war 1-1, and Tico is just like, okay. But I don't know if that's going to replicate exactly, and I don't know if you can plan to do that.
I mean, they did switch things up last time. That's because that's not the tribe Carson was originally on. But yeah.
Oh yeah. No, but that was a different thing where they swapped one person. That was some other exciting new twist they did.
Yeah, I don't remember how that worked out, but I mean, obviously it happened, but I don't remember how.
It was pre-merge, so we didn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like No, I think it was actually a decent amount. I think they had a couple of rounds before the merge when that happened.
My favorite little moment of this episode was during the reward challenge, when Sifu was trying to throw the ball up on the ramp thing and then run under it, and somebody said, "You got this, Sibo," and he corrected them, Sifu, and they have been out there for 9 days now, and somebody on his own tribe, it's just 6 people, they got fuck all else to do, doesn't know his name. And I think that tells you all you need to know.
Not his name, to be fair.
Okay, but that's what he wants people to call him, right? So that's what he's trying to go by around camp.
Yeah.
I just think that really underscores how much he is not a part of his tribe if they don't even know his fucking name. You got this, Sibo. I mean, it's possible there's adrenaline and you're just shouting things, you know, and you kind of shuffle up Reba and Sifu, you know. Like you start saying, "Let's go Reba," but then Sifu gets in, "Let's go Sifu, Sibo." That's possible, but I just think it's funner to be like, I don't even know his name, but go, dude, go Sibo.
It was interesting to me that when who was the raider? Caleb. Yeah. When Caleb was talking to that tribe, he asked what everyone did, and Sifu didn't say Tai Chi Master. I forget what it was he said, like singers. No, whatever he said.
I don't know. He did fucking air guitar.
Yeah. Air metal guitar even, which is great because you can tell J. Maya is not like a metal person, so she was kind of like, yeah, all right, I'll sing along with this. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh God, the overlay was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good though as when in the immunity challenge when Lulu started losing. They started playing sad music. I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, I was like, man, this friggin' tribe. Because at first, so I'll be honest with you, I wrote that they were hapless again, and then I wrote that during the physical part of it, where they were trying to get through the thing, and I almost erased it because I was like, oh crap, they actually got to the puzzle same time as everyone else. But then, you know, it immediately became obvious that they just weren't getting it together, and I don't want to blame Sabia because ultimately it's on whoever's calling it. But didn't she also kind of just look like she looked defeated?
She looks like she gave up halfway through it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about halfway. Yeah. They were showing that when whichever one was second had like one piece left to put in. Obviously, they weren't going to catch up.
No, I feel like she gave up before that. I saw her just more or less huffing around, giving up before that.
Right.
But I think it's interesting, the emotional roller coaster, right? Because they get rid of Brandon, who you think is their albatross, and then, you know, they fucking win the reward, and you're like, oh my God, that's awesome, go Lulu. And then no, they don't get to win this.
But I mean, you know what they lost. You know, do you know how lucky you have to be able to put together a 3D puzzle like that quickly? That takes a lot of you luckily guessing where the pieces go. They were just really unlucky in that challenge.
Especially if you can only see two of the faces easily, and then the top face. Yeah.
I feel like what probably happened is, you know, because they try to balance these tribes in production, I think Hannah and Brandon were the puzzle people on this tribe. And they're just gone 1-2. Like Brandon even said a couple times, I'm the puzzle person.
Clearly. He wasn't.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I think Brandon sitting in his house is probably phenomenal at puzzles, but out on Survivor is not. And whatever the hell Hannah was going to be wasn't there. And she obviously wasn't there for physical. I mean, it's fine. I'm in way worse shape than she is. I'm not throwing any shade, but like, you know, she's not, you know, she didn't look like Caleb out there. I'll put it that way. So like, it's a good chance that when they balance these tribes, they're like, okay, we need puzzle people on Lulu. Let's give them, you know, Brandon and Hannah. And that's, you know, because like you're saying, they did fine in the reward because it's all physical, and they did fine in the physical portion of the immunity. But when it came to the puzzle, they just could not fucking get it together.
They did real well in the physical portion of the boat part. except for obviously Brandon not being able to climb the ladder and having his panic attack. They have consistently done well in the physical portions, even with Hannah. Like, I think Hannah was in pretty good shape, but yeah.
Yeah, like I said, better than me, that's for damn sure.
By the way,
Probably
so my mom just she was way behind. I think she just watched like fucking, I don't know, 15 seasons in a row, and she's caught up now. And she texted me and she was like, "Why would they let a guy who's susceptible to panic attacks on this show?" Like, exactly, Mom. What? Yes, I agree. What the hell were they thinking, letting him out there?
Oh, Brian, that reminds me. I need you. Can you send me your parents' address?
What? No?
No? Okay, that's fine. I wanted to send your mom a birthday present. It's her 69th birthday next week.
Yes, yes, it is.
It's nice.
Oh my god. I'm definitely not giving you that.
I don't know. I was just hanging out the other day and I was like putting things on my calendar, like the Pokemon Go community stuff, and I saw on my calendar Brian's mom's 69th birthday. And then it says nice in the description. And I don't know when I added that. I probably added that 20 years ago when we were in fucking college.
The literal worst.
I don't want to sidetrack the episode. It's just, you reminded me.
Wow.
Well, you already, my dad's was in January, so you missed that one.
Yeah, but that's different. That's, he's not a dude, no homo, but.
No.
So, I just have a feeling we've got nothing left to talk about this episode.
No.
We've had a good episode.
I liked it. I mean, I was clapping when Sabaya went home. I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I was like, what a great move. Good job, guys. That was...
Emily did basic math in the beginning, and she kept through doing that basic math at the end, but nobody else thought that she could do it.
I wish Sabaya had made it further, but hey, you know what? You gotta go sometimes.
Yep, you gotta go.
And this will be the next episode, next episode will be the one time when they will say, "Oh my god," when they find out Sabia was gone, and you'll be like, "Yeah, that was justified."
Yeah.
I got nothing against Sabia, but just I like it when the person who thinks they're in charge gets voted out.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But you know what I like so far? You know what I like about the Lulu tribe in general? Not once did anyone ever say, "We need to keep the tribe strong."
Well,
I mean, they might have said that like figuratively, but they didn't ever, they weren't ever considered keeping the tribe physically strong.
Yeah, I mean, for them, it was obvious who they needed to get out for being too weak. And then their really strong player also happens to be one of their really social players. So usually when you do that, it's like, oh, Todd over there is an asshole. Yeah, but Todd is stacked, so we can't get rid of him, Yeah. But, you don't have that conversation at Lulu because Caleb's also just a really cool guy.
I like him. I was really scared when it looked like he was going to get voted out, but hey, my faith rewards me.
Mm-hmm. Fantasy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This week we did not have any bets resolved. If you want to see all of our bets, go to Outwit, Outplay, Outcast.com on the left. Hit the button that says Fantasy, and it'll bring up all of our bets. Nothing resolved. Nothing got struck out. Brian, you have Emily the $1 Million Deadpool, so you get to stay alive with that for one more episode. We have our Drop Your Buffs bet. Brian just said 2, I said 5, and Nick said 6, but we're all wrong because it's going to end up being 4. But, I mean, 2 more episodes, that's a good shot. It's probably not going to be swap and then merge, so I don't think it's going to be me at episode 5, but here we go. Scoring. I came to the weekend last with 10 points. I had Austin, Sifu, and Emily. Austin and Sifu, both on Reba, got me 2 points because they won both challenges. 1 point for winning a tribal challenge. Emily got me 3 points because she survived Tribal Council, which is, that's kind of like playing with fire. You want to have the players that go to Tribal, but not the ones that get eliminated. It's like playing with fire, and in this game, fire represents your life, so it's bonus points. And 1 more point she got me for that Tribal Reward Challenge win. So that is 8 onto my 10, giving me 18. Nick, you came into the weekend second. You had Couture and Cocaine, who both only got you 1 point for winning tribal immunity and nothing else. Caleb got you 5, though, because he survived tribal, got that reward challenge win, and survived a vote in his name. So that is 7 onto your 12, giving you 19. Brian, you came into the weekend first with 17 points, but you had Sabaya. So when a player gets eliminated, that gets you 0. You got Brando on Bello, who give you 1 point, and you got 4 from Drew, because he got himself a goodwill advantage. And then he gave it away. But he's the one who got it. So that is 5 points onto your 17, giving you 22. So that's 22 for Brian, 19 for Nick, and 18 for me, Andrew. I felt like giving the 2 points to Drew was the most fitting. Caleb got it on the boat, but it wasn't really his to have. So he had to pick somebody to give it to. And I figured Drew kind of, quote unquote, earned it during the interviews. So he got the 2 points there, even though he ended up handing it right off to Austin. Which we didn't talk about, but like it is shocking that Reba was just like, yeah, sure, Caleb, to pull all of us aside for one-on-one interviews to drill us for info. Like, I don't know how the fuck they thought that was okay, and just all went along with it.
I don't know. I figure if you're out there that long, you may as well.
I think it's another indicator that Reba's not fucking playing Survivor yet.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what we forgot to talk about? What the hell happened to Jay Cocaine at the beginning?
Oh, he just breathed in smoke and collapsed.
Yeah. That's what I think. What was he? Yeah, he was breathing smoke and he passed out, but like instantly recovered, but not fast enough to not fall over.
Right. Yeah. It's like did you never play caveman games on the Sega Genesis?
No.
All right, so there was a fire making game, and you could, if you breathed in too long, you would pass out, and the other person would win. Just because, when you breathe all that air in, you breathe it then out, and your brain can just lose oxygen that way. It's real easy. It's kind of like if you breathe in and out really, really fast, and then you stand up, you're going to get lightheaded. That's essentially what happened to him.
Yeah, well, I know, because, remember when that happened way back in the day, and he fell on the fire. What was that guy's name? That was back in like season 2 or 3.
Yeah, Michael Sculpin, and I only remember that because he was in because I didn't watch that season, but I remember he was in a like an all-star one or a second chance one or something like that, and did okay. But yeah. You know what I noticed also on this before we wrap up? 3rd episode, but it's the 2nd episode where whoever said the title of the episode got voted out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a curse?
I mean, no.
Wait, who said last week's episode? What was episode 2?
Well, Brandon, obviously.
Emily. Because she said she brought a bazooka to a tea party.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Well, she wasn't voted out, so now you're not making any sense.
No, but it was 2 of 3. I thought it might have been a thing for the season where everybody did it, but no.
Yeah.
2 out of 3.
First episode was "We Can Do Hard Things," and Hannah said it. Now I know Brandon said it too, but Hannah was the first one to say it.
Okay. Well, I want to point out Hannah wasn't actually voted out; she quit. But
potato.
I will kill you.
He had Jeff make them say it, but she was quitting. That didn't.
Yeah.
But I want to point out how there's been 3 episodes now, and only 2 votes, and both of them there was only 3 votes.
This is the fewest voting season, lowest vote total season.
Yeah, I believe that. Oh, Brian, who are you going to replace Sabaya with? Sabaya?
Okay.
I still don't know which one's going to be.
That's Sabaya. But apparently I need to pick somebody who's going to get voted out so I can get the turkey.
Oh, yeah. You got 2 in a row, buddy.
All right.
I said go for Bruce.
See, this is why I'm looking at like Bello, and I'm like, who the hell is Kelly? I don't even know who that is. There's somebody named Kelly?
Kelly is the one. She's one of the women, and she likes Jake. She can tell that Katura does not like Bruce, and is working with Brando.
Sure. Anyway.
Kelly's the tomboy on Bello.
I still don't know who that is.
All right. I can't help you.
I'll look at a picture, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I'll take D anyway.
All right. Got that big toe energy.
God.
It's about time they allowed the foot fetish people to have something on this show. Look at that big old toe.
You know, you're not wrong, because usually when you see a toe on this show, it's all pussy and busted up. I'm sure that's not what most of them are into.
You gotta change her color. She's red.
No, I don't know which color she's going to be next episode, so we'll find out.
Whatever.
We'll find out
fine.
together.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, you were so close. You could have just ended the episode there. We'll find out together next week and talk to you about it then. See, you could have said that yourself.
Oh, well.
Everyone has authority to end the episode.
Nah.
At any time, you can pull the ripcord and just say, this episode is over.
You have real authority because you're the one who edits, so you're the one who chooses the cutoff point.
I do.
Because I know you often get a recording that has an hour of extra content after you hang up of just me and Brian bullshitting.
Yeah, so I've noticed. Because what I usually will do is just go to the end to make sure. Because that's where. So the end is where we have a lot of blank space, and that's the optimal amount of time to, or the optimal time to grab room tone.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah, I used to do it at the very beginning, but we're all jazzed up and it's hard. But like towards the end, like before we start fantasy is the ideal place, but it's hard to find where that is sometimes. So yeah, don't matter. None of this matters. All right, I gotta go to bed because tomorrow is a work day. That's one good thing I like about doing these on Friday nights is I can sleep in on Saturday. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Jesus, Brad Marchand's a dick.
Yep.
God, what a fucking asshole.
Ah, fuck! I don't think I set my roster.
They showed the clip that fucking Bedard gets his first goal, okay? And they're just skating back to their benches, and fucking Marchand wraps his stick around him and holds onto it, and is just like skating towards the bench, holding him. Like, God, you fucking douchebag.
Yep, I didn't start my starters. Oh well.
Oh, I did that like immediately after drafting.
Oh well, I got a shutout anyway from Juicy Sorrows.
Nice.
Fantastic. Who am I playing? Oh, I'm playing David.
Is this one counting next week also?
Yeah, it's like a 12-day week or something.
Okay. What am I doing? Let's see. Who am I playing? Versus... I'm playing Stu. Currently, but whatever. It's only been 2 days. It's not like... Oof, both of us have some shitty goalie numbers to start.
Yeah, well. We were already a goalie scarce league, and then now that there's a dynasty element to it, it's even worse. I changed it to 5 starts a week, but I'm thinking about rolling. I don't know. With only 8 players, you should be able to pick up enough, right? Because I figured there's 8 people playing. If everybody rosters 3 goaltenders, then that's only 24 goaltenders, so there should be a couple starters on the waiver wire. But you get players like Alex who hold on to 4 or 5 goaltenders.
Yeah, but then also the shitty teams don't have a main starting goalie. They keep fucking switching back and forth.
Yeah, I know.
Like look at the Sharks.
No,
who the hell knows who the main goalie is?
And the thing is, like, Alex always tries to rally me and be like, it like you want players to have to go and face an ugly decision, right? To have to go in, like, if you don't prioritize goaltender, then if you don't prioritize a position, then the repercussion should be that you have to go in and find one every week, right? Like that's the trade-off, right? You have to pick positions that you prioritize and positions that you don't, or you just pick everybody kind of middle of the road, right? And then you might not have excellent at any given position, but you don't have to do there's a trade-off you have to make, right? Because the league had been so small for so long, nobody ever had to make that trade-off. And so, I get that point, but, also, we only have 8 players, and none of them, of the 8 players in the league, maybe 5 are really invested. I don't want to put, Stu in that position to have to do that, and then just get frustrated and not play for the whole fucking season again. You know?
Yeah.
I should call him so I can get him.